Hi everybody, it's Alex Fournier for alexfournierart.com and Artistic Purposes. Today we're going to be drawing with brush pen using a couple of my favorites, and we're going to be drawing some mobsters. Let's get started. Today I'm going to be using some brush pens from Tombow. One has a hard tip and one has a soft tip, and I really like these. We're going to start by using the Tombow soft tip brush pen right here. And we're going to use some photo references that I've purchased. I'll leave a link in the description if you'd like to purchase these yourself. So one of the important things when drawing with pen, especially if you're not using pencil or colored pencil underneath for a sketch layer, is you're going to really have to start thinking of the silhouette, the outline, negative space, and things like that, and trying to simplify the shapes. And some of the time I won't fully complete the whole head until I have enough detail to make an educated guess as to how big the features are. Okay. The other thing I do is focus more on the shadows of features versus the features. Okay, so I have just enough info to decide maybe where this other side of his face is. Okay. Which means I was a little off on my guess here. Okay. And you want to be sparing about your lines and try to think, where's the shadow of the feature that I'm trying to draw? Okay, I might make my own version of this from the reference with a little more maybe Peaky Blinders idea with the kind of the shaped head on the side. We shall see. Okay, looks like my forehead's a little further over. Okay. A lot of times even your slightly wrong guess can be just adjusted into like a turning edge or a highlight instead of looking like a mistake. Okay. You'll notice I'm using different line weights. It's based on which part of the pen and how much pressure you're putting on. Okay. All right, so what I'll do is I'm going to start with this arm. Keep the anatomy in mind, looking at the different areas. Okay, and I want to make sure I leave enough room for the gun as well. You'll notice I move around to different parts of the drawing and continue to try to Make sure I stay balanced on my guesses and sizes, right? I rarely will go all the way across on one part. Like I won't do like a whole leg by itself on both sides. I'll move back and forth across the drawing. All right, so we've got his hand here. Okay, and I'm going to kind of leave that last finger not quite as detailed because I'm going to need to complete the other details here. Okay. All right. Okay, so then, the handle would pop out under there. Okay, can we figure out the other part of the gun, maybe right here? And once again, you look at the drawing as a whole each time you're going to lay something in. And you got to think heavier line weights where shadows are. Okay, so now I'm working on always thinking about the actual mass in between and feeling like, does it feel like big enough or heavy enough? Okay, so we got the shoulder coming down here. Okay, I do want to make sure, because in pen, we're drawing kind of the top layer first. So I do want to make sure that leave enough room for this. Okay, and so now I'm going to try to balance out where's the arm based on the other items. Okay, forearm here. Okay, and in this case, I'm gonna make sure make sure of what, Alex? Make sure that actually my placement of the hand lines up with the weapon and the arm, right? Okay, and I'm going to actually make sure the handle comes through the hand like that. Okay, go right off the page. All right, so now okay, so now I'm going to look at the actual kind of mass in between here. Okay. Okay, a few of these I'm just trying to give more three-dimensionality to make sure that it reads correctly. Okay, it's a little wrinkle in the pants. Okay, not too bad. All right, let's finish this side. Okay, so let me kind of correct the shape of his skull here. Okay. And see if we can add a few more details. Okay, we want to make these kind of reflective areas. Don't really know what a Tommy gun looks like outside of this reference. Okay, and where do we have? Okay. All right, so now I'm basically just connecting a few things and trying to unify a little bit of the variation of darkness, trying to make sure it's a little bit more unified in its treatment, let's say. Okay, let's do a little bit of a shadow. And can we little bit more metallic detail here. Okay. Not bad. For now, let's keep that guy pretty simplified. And let's work on maybe a smaller one here. Okay, obviously smaller is going to be, a little harder for the brush pen just because of the different thicknesses. So I got to make sure that I simplify my line work here. This guy's a wise guy, eh? Okay, and think big shapes. Kind of big simplifications. So you're drawing the anatomy, but since it's pen, you're not drawing what's under, right? You're just drawing what's on top. But you have to imply what's underneath in your line work. Okay? So I'm trying to show the forearm, the bicep, and wrinkles. Okay, on the hand, I usually will try to make sure I get, both sides represented. And most of the time, I'm not worried about every finger. I'm just trying to get the shape. Okay, and especially if we have something like this where there's a prop in their hand, the most important thing is that wherever you put the hand, it has to be able to line up with what they're holding, right? Okay. Okay, the other fun thing about a brush pen is that you can get these varying line weights so easily, right? Okay, and it's also important to draw the bulky shapes as you see them so that you don't interpret kind of the wrong way, right? So if you think, okay, well, he's bending over, but in this case, this leg on this side looks like it's going straight, and it's foreshortening that's causing that. Okay, so we've got that, rat-a-tat-tat-tat. Okay. Okay, so he's shooting away. Okay. Okay, what can we do here? Okay. All right, let's do the face in this one. In this case, I'm going to start with the eyes and move to the nose, etc., and then I'll figure out the outline. Okay, and I'm just trying to draw very simple shapes. Try my best to get them in the right area. Okay. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to try to figure out where is the rest of this guy's face. Okay, and on ears, I'll try to just vary line weight for which one is the shadow and which one is a detail. Okay, I'm going to exaggerate some of this guy's hair. Okay, I'm trying to use a core shadow idea right here to make it seem like it's slicked back. Kind of like some shine to it. Maybe this is the mob boss, or maybe it's the police officer that never gets these guys because they always get away. Okay, and then I'm going to add a little bit of implied core shadows here. So the idea is to bisect something, like the nose here, with a little bit of a line that's almost like the equivalent of a highlight. Get some whiskers in there. Okay, and he's obviously yelling about something. Okay, I've done a little edge there. Okay, and so this is showing, this is a shadow, and these are shadows, but they're, you know, they're implied. Okay, trying to make that tie look a little more silky. Okay, and let's just add a button here, even though we don't see it in the reference. Okay. All right, so for good measure, let's just add some details in here. Okay, this is the big city. This is Chicago. Okay. Okay, got some details there. Okay. I'm going to fill in just a few details in the mouth, but not too many. As I usually find out, less is more. You can always add an inner shadow shape there. Okay. All right, what else can we draw here? All right, so let's draw this other shape here. I'm going to start with the guy's eyes. Okay. All right, so you see how I use different features as geography references, right? So I work my way across. And of course, hats are always a little bit hard to do. You just have to make sure you're really paying attention to kind of the shapes. Okay, we got the Windy City here. Okay, and just a few little bumps and scribbles will give the impression that this is the kind of, it's fur or something like that. Okay, so I have kind of like a turning edge of the fur. All right, next we want to just add a little more of this fur, kind of fading away. Okay, and a lot of times the trick is you're trying to show which volume is on top of another one. In charcoal, a lot of times I'll talk about a nestle and drag to make one thing higher than the other. In pen, it's usually which direction do you make the stroke. So in this case, I followed the shadow shape here, and I'm trying to imply that that's under this. Okay. let's look at this one right here. If I did a shadow here, you want to make sure the dark area goes down below it and that the sharp edge is on top. Okay. All right, in this case, let's just do a little filling in, but not fully. Okay, so I made some shapes there with the idea that I don't want to commit to a solid black there, but maybe I can add some shapes in between, maybe making it look like out of focus light or something like that. Okay, and then some of the time I can go back and do something with the circles that are there. It's all experiment. All right. I'm going to add a little more kind of chaos going on from that one. Anything else I can add here? All right, can I add anything up here? Once again, I'm kind of thinking silhouette first and shadow shapes. Okay, this one's basically just showing a face, so, are we saying they're standing right next to this other guy? That wasn't my original plan, but let's just say he is. Okay, in that case, we could continue our little background info. Okay, making like some sort of a tunnel. All right, thanks for hanging out and drawing some mobsters with a pen. Be sure to check out the next video. See you next time.